Welcome back. I've known Elizabeth Funderburk for years, and during those years, she's been spending them preparing for what she's done right now. That's become a successful published author. Her new book, Love Torn Asunder, is the fruit of that preparation, as well as the fruit of all the years she spent writing and editing and getting her book published. She's excited about her success, as well as we all should. Now, here's the interview.
Yes, I can't complain. I'm here. So.
Cool. Well, I know you're pretty excited about your book being released.
I am very excited about that. It's getting so, it's getting close, and I'm anxious. I'm very excited.
All right. Well, first thing I want to ask you, because I've been knowing you for a while, and
Yes.
I love the name Literary Liz. How did you come up with that? That's such an amazing name. I love that. How did that name come about?
Being on Facebook and you see a lot of these publishing companies starting up and people starting their own editing company, I really contemplated doing something along those lines. So when I contemplated that, I was like, well, what name would I use? And so in coming up with the name for the company that I thought that I wanted, that's where Literary Liz came about. So it was like going to be the Literary Liaison, but I ended up shelving that idea because I really like what I do. I like writing, and I like what I do in my personal career. And me taking a step further and saying that I want to publish books, and that's not necessarily what I wanted to do. So I did, fool around with the idea, but realize that that's just not what I want to do.
Okay. But being in this vast market, you can really try anything that you really want. That's one thing I love about our career. If it's something you like to do, the boundaries are there are no boundaries. It's all limitless.
Yeah.
Well, my next question to you is: at what point did you decide you want to be a writer?
I've always been writing. I've been writing short stories. Well, I don't even say short stories. I call them half stories because I would start a story and I never really would finish them. And poems for a very long time. And they were all for, me personally. Very few people got to read them or see them. For me, when I decided to pursue it on this scale, like get a book published and put it out for the public, was really after somebody that has been reading my poems and my half stories for a while said, you really need to just go ahead and finish your story and put it in book form just for yourself. And then once I did that, you really need to try it and see what happens. So that's what happened. I said, okay, I could really try this. I was really pleased with the finished product. I was happy with the story I wrote. I poured a lot into it. It took me a while. And with all the revisions, I said, I'm going to at least try it for me to see what happens. And if nothing happens, I am so proud of the work that I accomplished.
Okay. Well, my next question is, now here what my next question is. Tell me a little bit about, can you spill a little bit about your new book, Love Torn Asunder?
Yes. It's about, Love Torn Asunder is about a woman named Leslie, and the consequences that she has to deal with from choices that she's made. She's in a long-term relationship with a gentleman named Lincoln, who's also one of the main characters, and she kind of gets involved in a love triangle with another character named Kendrick. And it's about her being torn in her personal life, in her love life, and her relationship with her friends, and her work relationship. So I think that what basically it boils down to is that one decision can basically do a domino effect and affect all areas of your life and everybody around you. So without everybody gets through, her choice that she's made and how it affects them.
Okay. Well, with all this going on, I know you've got some signings, you've got other things going on. Do you have a tour plan?
I don't have a tour plan. What's going on is that the book is being released on the 30th of April, and soon after that, I'm getting married in September. So that has kind of stalled me in the being able to get out and tour and meet people. So I've been basically doing a virtual tour, and that's my first step. And then I have been in talks with people to come to different places to do signings and to meet people after my wedding. So I am working on things. I have things coming up in the future, but nothing is solid. I'm kind of working out the details. But I am very excited about that aspect of, you know, going out and meet people and doing different events. Just with everything kind of happened all at once. So I kind of piled everything on my plate, and so I had to take it step by step.
Very good, and congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, that was actually going to be my next question, because I know you're engaged, and I've been hearing about you getting married pretty soon. So, Miss Literary Liz is about to become a wife, which is going to be very wonderful.
Yes, I'm very excited. It's been a long time coming.
Oh yeah.
We've been in a relationship for a very long time.
So, is there a book about that coming?
You know, I told him, because he asked me, he was like, so is Love's Twin Thunder about, does it have anything to do with us? And I said, no, it doesn't. I told him I would write our story, you know, a few years down the line. Because I have ideas for, this book is really the beginning of a series. So I want to do 3 books in this series, and I already know the other 2 books that I'm already started on one, and I already know what I want to do in that respect. So I want to finish what I have in this series, and I told him maybe by book 4 or 5, I'll write about us.
See, I love that. That's pretty cool. Well, switching gears, I want to know, you've been writing for a long time. I want to know, who are some of your favorite authors? Who inspires you? Who do you like to read?
You know, I like to read so many different authors, and that's a really hard question, because it's hard to pinpoint who is your favorite. But I will say this, Eric Dickey, I love him. I've been reading him for a very long time, and everything he puts out, I read. And I feel like with his books, I've kind of like watched his growth, like from the first book that I've read until, you know, I just read the Gideon series about a year ago. It's like to watch, to keep track of the author's work and to see how they have grown, and they bring in new elements. That's, you know, I love that. And so I just hope to be that good. But there's so many authors that I love. Like, I love Arabesque novels. I love all the Kamani romance. I'm a huge Evelyn Harris fan. There's just so many. I'm like Adrian Byrd. I read everything. I've just read the Left Behind series, which I think is amazing. I really think everybody should read that. So I read some, like, all different genres. If somebody gives me a book that says, "Liz, you should read this," I'm going to read it from cover to cover.
I'll tell you what, you got an amazing array of authors. Actually, my wife loved that Left Behind series. And every time a new book came out in there, that was just wonderful. And like I said, I read. See, when you ask an author what they like to read, they answer a lot like you do, because I'm like that. You ask me, it's like, why are you asking me that? Because
it's like so many. I get it. And then you feel like, oh, I left somebody out.
Exactly. So it's like, so I'll give you a Sarah Palin answer. I read them all.
Right.
I'll read all of them.
I read them all. I just did a written interview for someone, and that was one of the questions, and I was really able to, sit and think about my answer. But I said, I started off, I boxed myself in one genre when I started to read, and it was all one genre. Like I read, like I said, Eric Dickey, Evelyn Harris, and Mary B. Morrison. I stayed to those authors, and then I was introduced to urban literature. So then I was fell in love with that, and then it was like I wanted to read every urban book I could get my hands on, and that was like Quan and Kiki Swenson. It was like I went through all of those authors, and then I was introduced to these romance novels. So it's like I I get introduced to a new genre and I fall in love, and then I just want to read everything in that category.
See, I love that. I love that. Well, well, well. Switching gears, which is going to have something to do with my next question. You, when I ask authors in the future who their favorite author is going to be, one of them eventually is going to mention you. And see, you are about to open a new floodgate. I mean, of new readers, new fans, and that's got to be overwhelming. I know getting married is overwhelming, but getting married and having a new book at the same time has got to be like, wow. how
Yes,
do
it
how,
is very overwhelming.
yeah? I'm about to say, how do you feel about all that?
I feel so blessed to be here. I think that 2011 has been a beautiful year for me. Now, I relocated this year. I've been in Myrtle Beach for the past year. Um, I am marrying the person that I've been with we've been knowing each other for 10 years. I have my book coming out, which I never really anticipated it getting to this point. And now that it is here, it's such an amazing feeling. I had my book reviewed, and to read the review from someone that actually read my work was amazing. And so it has been a really good year for me. It has been a stressful year because all of those elements, it requires a lot of detail, a lot of work, a lot of funding. So it has been a stressful year, but nothing that you do is without a hurdle. So, but I'm amazed, and I'm just so thankful.
Well, I tell you what, God's in the plan, so it became fruitful for you. So believe me, I understand how you feel.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any advice for any new writers that are coming up right now?
I say that I still say it right now is that I'm still tiptoeing around the industry. I'm tiptoeing my way in. I'm trying to become familiar with exactly what I have thrust myself into. So my advice for somebody that's starting is to research your industry, to know exactly what you're doing. Research every element, the editing, the typesetting, the companies that you're going to involve yourself with, book cover design, know your industry. And I have to really navigate really slowly to get my footing because I didn't know. I didn't know that writing the book was the easy part compared to what happens after when you're going to publish it. And I'm thankful to have met some really great people that have pointed me in the right direction and given me some great advice. But that's my advice is to just wait carefully, to research and ask a lot of questions of anybody you align yourself with in a business manner. Because your book is, that's what you poured your heart into, and if you're going to put it out in publication for the public, it becomes your business and becomes who you are and what you're known for. So definitely ask a lot of questions, and don't be afraid to step on anybody's toes because anybody professional would want to answer your questions to help you along in your journey.
I'd much rather you bug me to death and keep asking me the same question over and over than to not get the information. Yeah, then that way, then to not get the information, and then like you said, if you have to ask the same question over and over, please do it.
Right. Get clarification because you can say, okay, break that down for me. And I say that because I was afraid that people would think that I was questioning their professionalism when it's definitely not that at all. It's me not knowing and me wanting you to break it down so I am aware of what's going on. So we can work cohesively together. Because if I'm not aware, then it's not going to work. So don't think that you're questioning somebody's professionalism or stepping on anybody's toes. And I said if these people are professional, then they're going to respect your wanting to be knowledgeable in your field, in your industry.
Now I'm going to add on to something you just said though. If you're doing I'm sorry. Oh, Elizabeth, you there?
Yes, Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to add on to that too, to let everyone know is if you do encounter someone and they do act funny like you are questioning professionalism, move on to the next person. Because
Yes.
because you know, here, which that's all we all talk about. Me, you, Keisha Green, all of us. We do the each one teach one. And if somebody's not willing to teach another, then that person is not part of the process. If you're not part of the process, you're part of the problem.
I absolutely agree. I really do. And I felt like when I started writing, knowing that my pursuit was going to be to publish it, I started a blog. And on my blog, everything that I could think of that I learned, I blogged about it. I blogged like a series of questions. I said, these are starter questions. Please elaborate when you get to your, this part of your journey. That I feel like new authors should definitely ask these companies, especially in publishing. I wrote about, the pros and cons of self-publishing to traditional publishing to working with a smaller company versus a bigger company, because these are all things that I was learning, and I wanted to hurry up and get it down and out there for somebody that was going, along the same road that I was on. So definitely, if you're reaching out to someone that is in your field and they're not willing to reach back and help you, even point you in the right direction, then you need to move on.
When we come back, get ready for some real talk with Adriana L. Williams.